What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever played AirSoft? Well, I have. Actually, friends, we used to play AirSoft all the time. Every couple of weekends, we get people together, grab some AirSoft equipment, pick a field, and play AirSoft. It was really fun too. We played for a couple of hours, and then we just chill out, maybe eat after, or just leave after that. But we took all the safety measures as possible. Goggles. We made sure if no one had goggles or eye protection, they weren't gonna play. We made sure everybody had a gun and everybody. We invited a bunch of people. There was one time where I actually got a good 20 people there, which was pretty good. And everything was pretty safe. Nobody really complained or anything like that until this one time where we played AirSoft in our favorite field. It was like a reserve or a nature walk. We made an event on Facebook. We invited a bunch of people. A whole bunch of people showed up. We all started setting up. Got our guns reloaded. Put all our BBs in there and everything like that. So we're getting ready to go. We get the teams going, and we get ready for our first game. Now this game is about at least 7 on 7. Which is pretty good. So we get going. We start the game, and we have walkie-talkies. So we're like, okay, 3, we count it down, and we're ready to go. As the game gets started, you plan out your battle plan. You split up, or however you split your team, or whatever plan you have. Our group made initial contact with the other side. And through that whole battle, we're firing at each other. We're going at it. A bunch of people get out through that whole battle right there. I get hit, I get out. And then I'm walking back to the base, and we're just chilling because we're out and we're talking about what happened. 10 minutes later, we hear in the distance, the second group that was with us, that we split off with, had found them, and they were going in. They were in a firefight. We had heard them screaming, "Fire!" Like, "Fire, fire!" And from our side, we thought, "Oh wow, this battle's getting intense. They're really going at it." Like, at least a minute later, we hear, "There's a fire." And when it said like that, we look up, and there's smoke coming up from exactly where they are. So immediately, we all start freaking out like, "Oh!" We had brought these huge water jugs, and we start hauling them over there, thinking we could put it out before it got any bigger. By the time we got there, it had already gotten way too big for us to even attempt to control. Apparently, as we found out later, someone who I'm not going to name, but he already got a bunch of crap from that the day and months after this whole event started. So, but I'm not going to say his name, but if you're watching this, you know who you are. So we're like, you know what? Let's head back, get all our stuff, and get out of here. So we get everybody who was already playing. We're like, all right, let's get to the camp, get all our stuff, and get out. And there was a good 14 to 16 people there. So there's a lot of people we had to get out of there. So we run to camp, we get to camp, we get our stuff, making sure everybody's got everything packed up. And once we get ready, we're leaving. When you got the 14 to 16 people packing up stuff and making sure they got everything, it takes a minute to get all that together. And by the time we had started exiting the little base camp that was there, the fire had spread pretty far. There was one bridge that leads you out of the reserve and out to the exit. So we're running as fast as we can to the reserve, and I'm looking to the side. The fire's so close I can feel it on my skin. Everyone's just freaking out and running as fast as I can just to get out of there. We finally get everybody out, everybody's safe. And then once we got out of the fire, we went to the sidewalk, we took a seat. The fire department had already shown up. They came in through the gate, and then they started to put out the fire. The neighbor still came out and was like, "Hey, check out that fire." There was even guys who went through the gate and tried to get closer to the fire to take pictures. And we're like, and so as they're putting the fire and the crowd builds and we're all watching. So within time, the police get there. They come, they ask who was here when it first started. We're like, it was us. We were the ones who called 911 in the first place. They started taking our name. After they got our names and everything, they're like, if you're over 18, you can go. If not, call your parents or whatnot. And I left for everybody else. But I wasn't 18. So even though a person in our group started the fire, the first thing we did was, let's go out to eat. We ended up going to the ale house. Then we got word that there were some people at our bowling alley. Yeah, let's go let's go bowling. So we ended up going there too. By the time we all get home, we finally listened to what the news had to say, and this is where it got ridiculous. So when we got home, we got all over the news. All the local stations were covering about how there's a fire in Greenway, and there's police and firemen trying to control the fire and everything. And they had us on the news about how a bunch of so-called paintballers who threw a smoke grenade started the fire, and there you see our group there. There's me with the backpack, the small black backpack, and the shirt, and there's our whole group over there. There's a couple more people you see there, but that's basically the main part of the group. And the initial story that that the fire had burned 10 acres. The whole reserve itself was like a quarter of an acre. If it really burned 10 acres, which is equivalent to like about one football field, and you're saying 10 of those, that would be a quarter of Jupiter itself. Oh, I got so pissed when I saw that because there was the fact that they twisted the whole story about how much it burned. It really burned like a few hundred yards. That's it. It was really close to homes, which was threatening to homes, but it didn't burn 10 acres. Nonetheless, it happened. Even months later, we still couldn't use the place. And now that was ruined due to one guy. It only takes one time, right? Sucks to suck. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. I have new videos every Friday. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next week. Get a monkey.